My name is John Driffill. I'm the Head of Department of Economics, Mathematics and Statistics here at Birkbeck. And I'm a Professor of Economics, and my own research interests are in macroeconomics and monetary policy largely. Well, the basic thing is that we should be treating men and women equally in every possible respect in the workplace. And so when it comes to appointments and promotions, allocation of workload, things like that, males and females should be treated absolutely in the same way. I mean, I guess there are ways in which you can't treat people exactly the same. People have different patterns of life, obviously. Women are the only ones who can bear children, and that has certain implications. But the idea is we must make every effort to make adjustments for that and treat people equally. The main thing is just observing that general principle of treating everyone the same. One shouldn't discriminate on grounds of gender or there are other grounds, race, age, whatever, against people, and judge them on how well they're doing the job, interacting with students, with members of staff, you know, how they're contributing to the life of the college, and so on. I mean, there are also kind of instrumental reasons that people talk about the importance of gender equality, like that it makes people happier in the workplace, and it makes the work, you know, the college more productive and better, and so on. But that seems to be that's a sort of lower level reason in some sense, isn't it? I mean, I think the fundamental principle is the most important thing. Well, the challenging aspect of getting a diverse workforce in the sense of getting, say, numerical gender balance is that in economics and finance, certainly, not so much in maths and stats, but in economics and finance, there's still only a relatively small proportion of women studying the subject and coming through as candidates for lecturerships and professorships and so on. So there's still a considerable gender imbalance there. So that's the main challenge. Economics and finance don't seem to attract such a high proportion of women. Maths and stats, it seems to be much more balanced, and I don't think there are major obstacles there. So in mathematics and statistics, a good proportion of the applicants are women, and the appointments that we've been making, I think, have been fair. As it turns out, of course, there's no quota or anything like that, but the appointments we've been making have been pretty evenly balanced between men and women. And in terms of promotions, although it has been true in the past, everyone says that the proportion of women gets smaller and smaller the higher up the hierarchy you go. In fact, women have been doing very well and been getting promoted. We try to ensure that women put themselves forward women colleagues put themselves forward for promotion as readily as men do. I mean, there's a sense that perhaps women are less assertive and can get left behind or ignored, but we have been trying to avoid that from happening. And so in maths and stats, I think there's a pretty good gender balance, and in economics too, I think it's changing in the right direction, and we do make strenuous efforts we try to ensure that women are equally equally encouraged to put themselves forward for promotion, and so on. So I think there's a move towards balance in numbers. But there are various problems, of course. I mean, if there are relatively few women in the department and the college decides it would like gender balance on college committees, then the small number of ladies who are available to sit on these committees find themselves being called on disproportionately often. And so what is the fair thing to do in those circumstances? You can't insist that people should serve more than their fair share of time on committees and so on.